So this is now currently going viral online.
If he's not breaking the law, you should be allowed there. Right?
Should he have been arrested?
For the crime of walking in his own capital city.
It doesn't look like he did anything at all provocative or violent.
The police have once again been found guilty of a double standard.
I'm going to give my views and my thoughts on the absolute insanity of the last 24 hours. Where do I start with that? I start with the fact that in February I went to the Republic of Ireland to make a documentary about the migrant crisis or the invasion, whatever you want to call it, that's happening in the Republic of Ireland. When I went there, every single media outlet, every politicians actually come out in their parliament and said the streets should not be safe for me.
There is no place on the streets for this man or for anyone who holds his beliefs.
If I listened to people telling me where they didn't want me to go, I wouldn't step outside my front door. Yeah, because there's always someone who doesn't want you somewhere. But I produced a fabulous documentary in Ireland, so I didn't take no notice of what the establishment wanted. Of course the establishment don't want me there, because they're flooding the country. They're part of the problem. They don't want me exposing it. Of course all the media don't want me there, because they've got dirty hands as well. They've ignored it. So, there's an anti-Semitism march. Now, I went to one in 2021. I've been a keen, avid, and spoke out about the hypocrisy with Hamas, the conflict with Israel. I despise Hamas. I've been very open and honest. People say don't take sides. I've clearly took a side from day dot on this issue. Israel is a beacon of democracy surrounded by totalitarian, Sharia-driven shitholes. Yeah, to put it simply, right? Human rights violations everywhere. If you want to be safe, if you want to have some rights and freedoms, there's only one place in the Middle East you can go and do that. That's in Israel. I've travelled there, I've been there. Hamas are ISIS. So I don't mix my words on it. I'm very clear. Yeah, but there are still many. So there was an anti-Semitism march. I'm a journalist. I have gone to pro-EU marches. Yeah, they probably didn't want me there either. But I went to ask questions to show the hypocrisy again in the people who wanted us to stay in the European Union. So I've gone to many different marches at many different times to make many different videos. I made clear that I think the British public should go on the streets. For the last 4 weeks, we've had Hamas, we've had Hezbollah flags, we've had ISIS flags, we've had people climbing up monuments, we've had people calling for jihad in mosques across our country. We've seen no action from the police, okay? Nothing at all. So I saw there was an anti-Semitism march, so I was going to go there in the capacity of a journalist and discuss with people why they felt the need to go there. It doesn't matter. You see, I run the English Defence League. I didn't like The Guardian and I didn't like the BBC. But I couldn't tell them as journalists, you're not allowed to come to our demonstration, yeah? We never told the media, any of them. Even when they all come and lied about us, we still have freedom of the press. They're still the press. We can't start saying, none of you can come and report our demonstrations. They've always come, yeah? So when I saw these organisers of this anti-Semitism march telling me specifically that I wasn't allowed to come to their demonstration. They didn't say that to Al Jazeera, who are on Hamas's side. They didn't say that to The Guardian. They didn't say that to the BBC, who equivalate a 3-year-old Israeli girl with a 19-year-old Palestinian terrorist, yeah, in a child exchange. They didn't say that to the BBC, who refused to call Hamas terrorists. They didn't say that to any of the media who said that Israel bombed a school and 500 died. They didn't say that to any of the media who have lapped up the propaganda figures from Hamas officials. Yeah? They haven't said it to any of them, but they didn't want me there.
Well, also, the organisers of the march are perfectly within their right to say, we don't want him there. And even if he turns up to say, we don't want you here, to say that to him.
Yes.
But they can't force him to leave. No. And they certainly can't weaponise the police to get rid of him. Either way, it's just dodgy.
I went as a journalist, yeah, to question people. I'm in England, London's my capital city, and I'm a journalist. And I work for you, actually, the British public. I work to show you corruption, I work to show you lies, I work to challenge the media. That's what I do. It's even what I done when Sky News come up to me. I challenged them on the day in London. But when I got there, I walked calmly, I sat down in a coffee shop. I didn't even bring any security. I knew there was rumours I was bringing lots of men there, so I literally just went with my camera.
Tommy, so we've been directed to come here and chat to you about your presence here. So there's going to be a Section 5 dispersal notice in place for this area from Chief Inspector Fisher. And a part of that it's directed for you to disperse and leave the area.
I'm hired. I'm doing my job. I'm getting paid to be here, as is he, to report on this demonstration. And paid for by who? What do you mean paid for by who? I work for a company called Urban Scoop. That's the company. Yeah?
You personally are not to remain here, regardless of why you've come here. It's got nothing to do with your job.
I'm here at work.
To you that this has got nothing to do with your role as a journalist.
But I'm here at work.
Your presence here is causing alarm and distress.
And you don't.
If you do not leave, without a refund, I will come in and I'll make sure you leave.
So the Met Police tweeted out today saying, here's the tweet, a dispersal order under Section 35 of the Antisocial Behaviour, Crime and Policing Act has been in effect since just after 10 a.m. It covers Westminster and part of neighbouring boroughs. And here's the kicker. Anyone told by an officer to disperse who fails to do so is liable to arrest. Now, that seems horrendously
extreme.
authoritarian to me. So the idea that the police can just say, we want you to leave, we don't have to give a reason, and if you don't go, we'll arrest you.
If you watch, I received a very positive reception from any Jewish people that were there.
Hello,
Hi, how are you? Are you okay?
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm fine, and how are you keeping?
I'm not bad, thank you. Hi, how are you? How are you? You alright? Hello. He's not doing anything. Does it look like I'm causing people alarm and distress? Does my presence here cause you any alarm and distress?
Absolutely not.
Some people will say... How are you? Alright?
But the younger generation obviously being indoctrinated in universities.
Having the full English.
Of course, of course.
I'm very distressed. I want you to tell everybody how distressed I am.
The police's argument was that my presence could cause people alarm and distress. Now, the police have tried this with me before. They actually took me to court and tried to ban me from going to France for the Euros because they said my presence, because France has a large Muslim population, my presence could cause a problem. My presence, right? Well, lock me in my house then. You know what I mean? What sort of law is that? My presence. In fact, this has actually happened before with my children when I was in the city of Cambridge, where they come in again and they give me a dispersal order with my kids and said, you need to leave the city now because your presence could result, like, it's a thought crime, like something might happen.
My daughter's crying her eyes out now, lads. So no, you're following us. You're following us. You're shouting. Katie. Who are you serving and protecting?
The form's going to come. You're going to be given it. If you stay, you're going to get arrested.
Who are you serving and protecting?
I've got to answer this.
The decision was made, hasn't it? Okay, you've got.
Why? But why?
Right, okay.
Why?
So I wait until 1 o'clock for the start of the march. I come out of the march. I come out by the front door. I was about. Lots of people were saying link arms with. There was a lot of Jewish ladies there who wanted to link arms with me, but I just knew the police would be aggressive, so I didn't want any of them to get hurt. Then I started pushing another girl in a wheelchair, and I thought, I just knew what was going to happen. So I said, I better walk out away from everyone because I think they're going to be confrontational. Straight away, the police come up. They start reading me their section 23, whatever this is that they're reading in front of me.
Distress. You're causing all these people here alarm and distress. I'm a journalist and I'm here to do my work. I'm here to do my job.
I then read them a post that they put out the day before. So the day before, a GB News journalist was harassed by Muslims. The Met Police tweeted, "The right of the press to freely report on protests is no less important than the right to protest itself. They should be able to do so without facing intimidation and aggression." Now, when I read this on the way to London, I quote tweeted it, saying, good, that means you're going to stay out of my way and let me do my journalism today, doesn't it? Yeah. I've been very outspoken against Mark Rowley. Mark Rowley is the politicised, woke leader of the Metropolitan Police Force who is given his pat on the back by Sadiq Khan. Yeah? They're like his henchmen. That's what and they act like it now. We've all seen it. So the officer comes up to me. I point out to him what the police have said. I point out to him 10 times, I'm a journalist, bro. You may not like it, but I'm a journalist. I make films, I make documentaries, I do investigative journalism better than all of theirs. And that's what my job and my career is. And that's my full-time employment. So that's what I do.
I'm a member of the press. I'm at work. Yeah? I'm not. Is anyone here caused alarm and distress by my presence here? No. Ladies, no. Everyone's Jewish here. There's no one who's caused alarm and distress. No one has come up to you and said anything about me.
You are working under the orders of Sadiq Khan and Mark Rowley. Mark Rowley is an apologist for Hamas. They're apologists for jihad. And the British public are fed up of your two-tier policing. The only people causing alarm and distress there were the police. There was no alarm and distress. All I would have done, do you know what I believe now? There were so many people from the establishment, Boris Johnson's, etc., and they didn't want to see me mainstreamed in an event that they were at, because I would have received a fabulous reception from everyone there. And they couldn't have that. They couldn't allow that. Not just that. Recently, we've done an Armistice Day demonstration. There was a gathering to prevent people disrupting the 2-minute silence. I've spoke very openly about the need for a street presence and possibly planning protests, possibly to oppose the Hamas rallies that are happening in our capital city every weekend. So this, I believe, has been forethought by the police of how to deal with that, and we'll get on to the reason why. But I come out, police make the point, they start dragging me, basically, and they're dragging me, and they go the wrong way. Watch the video. They go the wrong way. Then when they go the wrong way, they pull me back, but they've just gone the wrong way. And I'm saying, my cameraman has my car keys, yeah? And I keep making a point, I need my car keys, and you're just going to drag me and piss me off down the road. He's got my car keys. So I stop and I'm trying to make that point to them. He's got my car keys, get him, yeah? At which point then they've gone the wrong way, so they feel stupid, then they start pulling me the other way. But when they bend my arms, I'm then going, get off my arm, you're hurting my arm. They did hurt my arms, yeah, but I'm saying, you're hurting my arms. At that point then, there must have been, 30 of them? I just can't believe it. I still can't get over the fact of what they've done. There must have been 30 of them. They grab me, they start twisting and when I say twisting my arms, they get them behind my back. But it's like they're breaking your arms. They're lifting your arms up. They know exactly what they're doing. Whilst whacking my legs, they know, and I'm just standing there. So I've got my head down. As I've got my head down, he must have, from this close, sprayed me with CS gas, with tear gas in my eyes. It felt like I'd been hit with acid. It was burning my whole face. Yeah? And I still cannot believe that the police, if someone's gone to work, which is all I've done, if they're calm and rational and in a cafe, that we live in a country now where the police can forcefully come in, forcefully grip you up, when you've committed no crime, thought crime, your presence might, yeah? And they can't bow to what organisers of demonstrations say, of which media can and can't come in. The British state and the police do not get to choose which media there are, yeah? Otherwise we're a communist state, okay? And we're not. Well, we may be. You may have seen that we pretty much are, but we're not meant to be. We're meant to have freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of assembly, yeah? There are God-given rights that are being taken and eroded on a daily, weekly basis. If you're just catching up over the last 3-4 weeks, you should have followed me for the last 10 years. You'd have been absolutely astounded with their behaviour. Yeah? If you actually look at Section 23 of the dispersal order, you're exempt from it if you're at work. If you can't abide by it because you're doing a job, which is what I was doing, they can't give you it. But that doesn't stop them. They've charged me. Why have they charged me? Now, there's many other videos like this where they've done this before in the past. In fact, they've done it for my entire movement of the English Defence League. It's to control you. They don't care if they get a conviction at the end or not. They use it to put restrictions on your movement. So right now, I'm banned from the entire City of London. I'm not allowed to participate or be involved in any demonstrations. So now they've tied me up until the 22nd of January. When I go to court on the 22nd of January, they'll kick this back for another 6 months. Trust me. Yeah? This goes back another 4 to 6 months. Then, for 7 months, whilst all the Palestinian conflicts, they've taken out the one person that can mobilise an opposition to it. That's what this is about. So this was pre-thought. Before I turned up that day, no matter what was happening that day, I was getting handcuffed, I was getting arrested, I was getting bail conditions. What's the need? What have I didn't do anything wrong, you've all seen that. So why would I need bail conditions limiting my freedom? The most sickening thing about this is, his butt to here, are any of their leaders given bail conditions to stay out of London? You know, the ones calling for jihad, or holding banners saying Muslim armies attack Israel. What about any of the people who have climbed up our monuments? Have any of them got bail conditions? Who's banned from London? Any of these jihadist terrorists? None of them. They just get a little pat on the back. Oh, hello, mate, can you get down off that, please? Well, please don't do that. Oh, you're dressed up as a terrorist, are you? Oh, you look, we'll take pictures with the little kids dressed as terrorists. What you've seen over the last 3-4 weeks may have shocked you. To see the way that police literally do not arrest them, and don't just not arrest them, but when Hamas supporters are marching, They don't wear riot gear. They don't draw batons, ever. Yeah. As soon as English protesters protest, they get beaten with batons regularly.
Should he have been arrested, given that there were people who are spouting horrific anti-Semitic comments on the streets at the pro-Palestinian marches every Saturday?
I mean, we've seen them at sort of pro-Palestine demonstrations doing nothing when people are throwing fireworks at them or calling for the death of Jewish people. That's okay.
But they are spouting hate on the streets. They should be a proscribed terrorist organisation. They are virtually everywhere else, including in most of the Arab world, by the way. And then you arrest somebody who just leaves a cafe because some people organising a march aren't happy about it.
And here we go again. 3-month prison sentences for this. 3 months. How can I get dragged off the street, CS gassed, attacked, and then I get charged?
This is two-tier policing in the UK, something many of us have been trying to warn about for the longest time, and the Met Police should be absolutely ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, two-tier policing system for everybody to see. I'll end it on a massive thank you to everyone who supported me. You know, all the people, I've seen a lot of people stick their neck out on the line for me over the years, speak up for me. I know you've had grief off family members. I know you've had grief off your friends. I hope a lot of that has turned and changed, and a lot of them have seen that you were right, that I was right, that we were right. That we aren't full of hate, but we're just concerned British citizens who see our country decaying, who see it turn into shit in front of our eyes.